everyone. It's Ken from Ken's Corner, and we're back with the NHL Fan Panel. And we're going to cover the Olympics as well, because we're in full swing of the Olympics 2026 in Milan. But first, guys, I just want to cover a quick story of the three young men who lost their lives. J.J. Wright, 18, he was a left winger. Cameron Casero, 18, he was a goaltender. And Caden Fine, the 17-year-old center, who lost their lives tragically in southern Alberta. They play for the Mustang junior hockey team. You guys have any thoughts about that? Otis, I'm going to let you start.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that at such a young age that something like that has to happen. It always kind of makes you take a step back and be thankful for what you got. But it's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. George, would you like to add in on that? It's practically in your neighborhood, not just too far north of where you reside. It must have hit hard for the people of Alberta.
Oh, it's kind of crazy how that works. The roads out there are totally different. They're trying from side streets, from a full stop to go across major highways. And it's unfortunate that this happens, and this is the way it is. There's no sets of lights at these roads, and they're trying to cross. These cars are doing 120, and they're trying to cross over 3 lanes to get into the middle to get into another road. It's crazy how they got it set up out there, and really it is unfortunate for these 18-year-olds to die like that.
Yeah, thank you. Joe, do you have any thoughts before we continue on to this podcast today?
I think, George, you're onto something there. I mean, how many more tragedies do we got to have with kids and hockey teams out there? They've been through enough for sure. And very well said. Maybe someone will wake up and figure out how to get that stuff sorted out, because one life is too many. And tragedy. And I really like what the Oilers and Flames did to recognize the players before the game. I thought that was a nice touch. And what can you say? It's horrible. Shouldn't happen.
Yeah. I agree with you. Thanks, guys, for your thoughts. I'm going to do a quick roll call. That was Joe from Whistle Radio right here in Stouffville. Thank you, Joe, for your thoughts. Otis from Sports in the Six. Thank you so much for joining us again, Otis. And George, while you're not out there in balmy Florida, Calgary, you're right here in Stouffville, enjoying that minus 25 degree weather with us. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for being on today. Guys, I just want to talk real quick about the only medal. I don't know if you guys have been watching any of this Olympics, but Valerie Maltese earned a bronze in the women's 3,000 meter long track speed skating event. I witnessed it myself. Otis, did you get a chance to watch?
No, I saw it after the fact. I saw it pop up on my screen, and I was like, oh, wow, it's finally something like right off. I think it was the first day, right? So, yeah, it's good to see that. I think we're going to win a lot of medals. We typically do in the Winter Olympics. So I'm pretty excited to see what else we can accomplish in this Olympics.
Thank you. Okay, Joe, we're going to start with you. And I know you're probably, I don't know, I think you're still probably glass half empty on the Leafs this season. And like most people are, I can't blame you if you are. I'm going to ask everyone the same question. The Leafs won 3 games before the Olympic break. They went into Calgary, won a game there, as well as in Edmonton, that 5-2 win. Quite an impressive victory, if I say so myself. But Elliot Friedman says the Leafs haven't changed their thoughts, and they are going to be sellers. If you're the general manager, what are you? Are you a buyer or are you a seller? And what's your biggest asset? What do you think should go out the door first?
I'm a seller, no question about it. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to be no matter what. Even if they get 1 or 2 players, they're not even close to the upper echelon. Sure, they beat up Calgary. Oh, they're great. Oh, they beat up Edmonton. They're sucking lately. So, those are wins, nice wins, whatever. But no, it's time to recoup assets. If you want my honest opinion, Mr. Matthews, do you want to be here? Yes or no? Imagine the haul we could get for him. A couple of first rounders. Be nice. I'd be having the conversation with every one of the Leafs. Nylander, I hope Morgan Riley, and let's see what we can get for these. We got to start over again. And I know you just gave me the finger.
Well, no, I didn't. I was pushing my glasses up. But to actually, Joe, you are right. The Leafs have approached Austin Matthews' camp, and he has said that he wants to be here, and moving forward, he wants to be a Leaf. As far as Riley, though, there's a lot of rumors out there on Twitter, Otis, San Jose bound possibly. Are you a buyer or are you a seller heading into that break?
I'm not. I don't know if they're a buyer or seller per se. I disagree. I wouldn't tear it all down yet. I would retool. It's not going to be easy to retool. So I don't know if they're going to be buying to try to save this season, but I think they're going to be selling off certain pieces if they have to try to improve the team. Realistically, everyone looks at this whole thing over the 10-year span and said it's been a failure, but there's been a vast amount of reasons why it hasn't worked out. So I still feel like you have some talent on this team, and I'm not willing to go back to how I was not making the playoffs for, 15 years or whatever it was. I'm not willing to go back to that yet. So,
yeah, neither am I. And I bet you the Buffalo Sabre fans definitely aren't willing to go in an extra year. They've been behind so long, and I guess they're one of the biggest surprises this season. But George, I know you have an Edmonton Oilers friend who's a fan of the Edmonton Oilers, and there's big rumors about Bobby McMahon and possibly Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and even Anthony Stolarz. Have you spoke to him about any of these players heading to Edmonton? And what do you think is a package that could be had in that trade? Oh, first off, are you a buyer or seller?
Well, I'm gonna agree with both guys. I am a seller, and with Joe and with Otis there, we have to sell off some parts to get somebody. So I'm definitely a seller, and seeing what we can find to pick up some pieces to, it's obvious we're not making it to the playoffs. So let's reconfigure our team and let's go playoffs next year.
There has been many cases where a team has traded off a few pieces, like Bobby McMahon for a high prospect and a first overall draft pick, which is quite possible. I think he's the biggest catch out there, especially if Toronto retains some of that salary. That's really going to help in what we can bring back for him. And there is cases, considering we're only 6 points out of the playoffs, that they could make it after making such a move. Otis, I know I've spoke to all these guys so far all season, and this question is probably driving them insane, but I'm going to ask you, because I don't think I've asked you, your biggest surprise so far this NHL season.
The Montreal Canadiens, I think. I knew they were going to be good, but I didn't think they were going to be as good as they've been. They've been pretty, considering their goaltending has been suspect at times. They've been really consistent all season long, and then I keep waiting for the shoe to drop for them to kind of fall off, and it just hasn't happened all year long. So,
George, do you have any updated thing that you want to say? Anything that's surprising you heading into this break?
No, I'm just going to keep with what I had said. Otis does have a point, but I'm just going to keep what I said.
And Joe, have you any more surprises?
No, I think I mentioned the Buffalo Sabres, and I got ridiculed last time, and lo and behold, they're still chugging away, and they're going to make the playoffs, and I want them to do well. So good on them. They deserve it.
You know what? I'm surprised no one's mentioning the Tampa Bay Lightning and their 19-1-1 record in the last 21. There's so many big surprises out there. By the way, did anyone witness that beat down from Braden Point to Matthew Tkachuk? That was, Brandon Hagel, Matthew Tkachuk. That was just beautiful. What is with all these goaltender fights? What's going on with that? Otis, do you have an opinion on the goaltending fights?
Loving it. It's, what is that, 3 so far this year? I'm for it. I think goaltenders should be allowed to kind of be part of that if they can, because I think it just brings better camaraderie across your team when you're allowed to do that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I like it.
I for one know that George was very happy to watch Bobrovsky and Swayman get their asses kicked during those fights.
That is correct. And the last two just happened back to back. I mean, these games out in Florida and Boston, these games are getting crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Joe, you know what? We're going to move on. This is a big question I was going to ask, but he had his charges withdrawn. Your thoughts on what happened with Gavin McKenna?
Well, you hear so many different things about what happened. I mean, he's 18 years old. He's in a bar. He's underage, obviously, so that's not a good look. But it sounds like he was not the aggressor, and he just won the fight. So I'm glad the charges were dropped and put it behind him. And yeah, just move forward. It's there's all kinds of things that I've read leading up to what may have started. It doesn't matter. But, you know, it does look bad. He's 18 years old in a bar where the legal drinking age is 21. So that he's going to have to, you know, we know what happens. We're all big boys. We've all done it ourselves. But, you know, let's just, time will heal all and we'll move forward. And he's still a great player. He's going to be fine.
Otis, your thoughts? Does this hinder Gavin McKenna in any way in his draft position? Like, this is a consensus number 1 overall draft pick.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he's lucky because I think there's still charges against them, but the one charge that could have really been serious, which is the felony charge, that was the one that they dropped. The other ones are there, which they're not that big of a charge. And from what I heard, his mom was there. So that's probably the reason why he was there. I mean, at the end of the day, he wasn't trying to hurt anybody. He was defending his mom's, again, if that's what the truth is, he was defending something was said about his mom. It was a fight. It happens. I don't think it's going to change or drastically going to stop anyone from drafting him. Now, if that charge was still there, that's a different story. That's 20 years in jail. Like, that's a completely different story. But thank God, the district attorney did the right thing and took that away, because that could have ruined his life, right? So.
And George, do you have any thoughts on what the situation?
Well, let's face it, we're all guys and we all love our moms. So if you bring the mom into the fight, you're going to get beat up. So that's it. That's all.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I'm sure a lot of people were celebrating. A lot of moms were pretty happy with Gavin McKenna that day, if that is the truth. George, do you plan on watching every game of this Winter Olympics for this Team Canada?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'd like to see these lines click, and I'd like to see us put the States in the bronze, put the States in the silver, because we're taking gold.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to read out the lines that we're at. If I can find them again. I think I make too many texts, but I believe they have Crosby, Marner, and Stone on the 4th line. McDavid is with Wilson and Celebrini. Anyway, for what you guys have seen, and maybe you guys can help me out because I can't find the lines right now. But what's your favorite line moving in? Who do you think is going to be the most impactful player? Let's start with that, Otis.
I'm still going to go with Korner. I mean, McDavid's a stud. I mean, they got a good assortment of players, but Konner's going to be the guy I think that's going to lead this team. I think we're going to see a lot from Celebrini too. He's another kid who's like ice water in his veins. I like the makeup of the team. I like how they brought Wilson. I like how they brought Bennett back. But I think McDavid, he's the guy that's going to make everyone follow him through this battle. So,
George, who's your player that you're planning on watching the most? Who do you think has the biggest impact on this tournament for Canada?
Well, since Otis took McDavid, I gotta say McKinnon. or Celebrini. I mean, the whole team's full of talent, but I really do like that third line, Wilson, and I think there was Wilson and Bennett and somebody else. It was going to be a tough line.
Move that around. Tom Wilson is now playing first line with Celebrini and McDavid.
Well, that's good for him. It's good for him to be out there and throw some muscle around. I love the fact that Wilson's on the team.
Yeah, and then they have McKinnon with Marchand, and who else is in there, guys? Help me out. I know Jarvis and Bennett are 13th and 14th players.
Oh, so they must have just changed the lines then recently, then, Ken.
Yeah, that was what was at the skate this morning.
Okay.
From what you've seen, Joe, what is there a line that you've seen, or you think that will be the biggest impact for Canada?
We've got till Thursday, so none of these lines are set in stone. They're just tinkering with lines now in practice. They've still got 4 days to go. It could change 17 ways depending on what happens in practice. So there's no set lines as of yet. But I'm thinking Sam Bennett's going to come in with a craw. He's got something to prove being initially left out, and I'm really looking forward to watching. I mean, McDavid is a no-brainer, of course. Aside from him, this is McDavid's. I think someone said at our last podcast, if he gets the gold, he gets the Stanley Cup in Edmonton. All that's left is a Stanley Cup in Toronto. And then he's got the trifecta of everything he'll need to satisfy his career, right? So I'd like to see him get the gold. And I think Sam Bennett's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder and say, you guys want to leave me out initially? Well, guess what? You're going to see what I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah. Is anyone surprised that it wasn't Zach Hyman who was chosen to come to the team? Otis?
No, I would have taken Bennett. Yeah. I love Hyman, but Sam Bennett has all those intangibles that I think he does a lot of the same things that Hyman does, but he's a little bit more physical. He's got a little bit more of that element to his game. So, No, I was happy that Bennett made the team. I think he should have made the team from the beginning over Horvat, but he ended up coming because of injury. So I like Bennett.
Okay, there's your third. Horvat was with McKinnon and Marchand. George, your thoughts? What the heck does Mark Scheifele have to do to make this team? And should he have not been there instead of Bennett?
Well, I was a fan of Hyman coming in, and I really did like that. I thought maybe Bennett was hurt or something, but I would have been a fan of Hyman coming in and doing what he does. And like Otis said, they're both the same players. They do the exact same thing, and either or, they're both going to make our team good. So, and Scheifele, I don't know what he's got to do. I don't know.
Yeah, he's having quite a season. Joe, our local goaltender, who's starting, Joe? Craig Binnington's not had a great season. Is it going to be Logan Thompson starting?
It better be. I hope so. He's had a better season, and I think he's earned it. I think it's a no-brainer. They're going to alternate probably the first couple of games and see what happens, but I think it's Logan's net to lose for sure.
Thank you. And guys, we're already at the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for playing along. Otis, you're the first. This is our annual every podcast prediction moments. So let's go with gold, silver, and bronze.
Gold, obviously, I'm going to go with Canada. Silver, I think it will be the U.S. The bronze is the tough one, but I'm going to go with Finland. I think Finland. I'm going to go with Finland.
And you're saying that Canada beats the States. What is that?
Yes. I think it's going to be 4-3 in overtime again.
Wow. And who does Finland beat for the bronze?
I don't know.
Quite the question.
That's tough. Sweden, Czechia.
I think Sweden. I think the top four teams is Canada, US, Finland, and Sweden. So I think it'll be Finland and Sweden in the thing. So,
thank you, George. Same question. Give us your gold, your silver, and your bronze.
Well, Canada's gold. I was just going to say Toronto. Canada's gold, and I'm going to say Finland over the States, and I'd like to see Sweden go over to the States. The States don't even make a medal, but that's not going to happen.
So
let's just say that I want to see the States in bronze and we're gold.
And who's silver?
I'm going to go Sweden.
And what's that score in that game? Canada, Sweden.
Well, if it's Sweden, I'm going to say we're going to kind of blow them out 5-2.
And Joe, you get the final thought here.
Canada, Sweden, US in that order. I'm counting on the USA to have crappy goaltending with hella suck. And the two knuckleheads are going to get themselves in trouble and act like a bunch of idiots, and they're going to harm their team. So that's what I'm counting on. So Finland's missing a couple of key players they're not going to have. So I don't think they're there. But Canada and Sweden in the final, 5-3 Canada all the way. And unfortunately, I don't feel the same about the Canadian women. I think they're going to finish second to US.
Yeah, you're probably right. Otis, I'm going to ask, this is the final question. Other than hockey during this Olympics, are you watching any other sport?
No, I'm not a huge Winter Olympic guy. I'll watch some stuff, but not as much interest as I would for the hockey. So, and the women's hockey too.
George, are you watching any other sport?
Wow, I'll put an eye on snowboarding and stuff like that, but I'm not really a follower, so I'm gonna just watch hockey.
I don't blame you. And Joe, for you, is there another sport there?
I might check out the women's figure skating if you get my drift. Everybody likes to see a good wipeout there, so I might just check that out.
There's many, many medals for Canada. Let's just say that. That'd be nice, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the joke coming way out, Mr. Joe. Otis from Sports in the Six. Always a pleasure to have you back. George from, he's not in Calgary today, but he is from, lives in Calgary. He's not from there. And Joe from Whistle Radio, whistlefm.ca, if you want to look it up and take a listen. My name's Ken Judge. We're here on Ken's Corner with the NHL Fan Panel. Thank you guys for being with me today.